Racing YouTube channel. We are here for the start of the race here for our USA series here in the IndyCars at Road America. Delighted to be joined in the commentary box by Emo Guy. We've had some technical difficulties getting underway tonight, but I'm delighted to say that those have, for the time being at least, subsided, and we're about to get going. How are you doing, Emo Guy, on this fine Sunday evening?
I'm doing really well, but a bit as well as you can do in these quarantine days, but apart from that I'm doing really well.
Championship here at Motive Racing, we got Smithy in 7th place, Pro Hero lining up in 8th, Hovno behind him, then we got Falguest down in 10th position, one of our commentators and admins here on the Motive Racing Discord. Good to see him out on track tonight. We've got RDJ, Rob lining up in 11th place, has done no practice for this race, so we're not expecting fireworks, but we hope that he can put in a good showing. We got Ollie in 12th and Honey Badger, who's supposedly a safety car but doing his best impression of a medical car here this evening, rounding out the pack at the back. He should really be at the front if he's a safety car, but the medical car, it appears, for the time being. Anyway, so should be a fantastic race here tonight. Thank you to everybody watching us live here on YouTube. We're shortly going to get going. They're just going underneath the Corvette bridge now into the middle sector, so it's quite a slow formation lap here from CMCF1 here, Emo Guy.
Yeah, really, it is. As a semi-decent, semi-big, the track, as you can see from the right side there, which lost for Alpha and it seems to join again. Yeah, but it's going to take a good wee while for him to get around this track, but that's going to waste a lot of people's fuel at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not going to go easy on that, and obviously the safety car driver we're hearing, Honey Badger, is very, very low on fuel at the start of this race. I'm actually worried that if he is needed to do a few laps here, then he may not be able to make it to the end, and that would be a pretty hefty embarrassment. Let's hope that he has put enough fuel in this car to get him to do all of his stints here. Let's hope he's not needed. Obviously these guys at Motive Racing, very clean, fair drivers, so he shouldn't be needed too much, but famous last words, definitely with that one. It's yet to be seen whether or not these guys can marshal themselves in these Indy cars, these road Indy cars, which are very, very difficult beasts to tame. Not quite as difficult as the oval cars, but then again you're driving them around a much more problematic type of circuit, so it just throws all sorts of problems at you, and it'd be fascinating to see how these guys handle it. CMC here back in the pack up as they come into the final sector here, and looks like we've got Champ all over the back of him, letting him know that as soon as those lights go out he is going to be absolutely gunning for this one. It's great to see all these guys getting excited and getting these tyres absolutely warmed up to their maximum, and these guys doing a little bit of a chicken with each other, trying to get those brakes nice and warm, trying to keep the tyres up to temperature as they come out round the final sector now into the final few corners of this formation lap. And as we say, this has been an extremely slow formation lap here from CMC, maybe trying to get into the heads a little bit, as we see Champ here pulling to the outside and actually overtaking CMC on the outside for a moment there. So he's letting him know that he really wants to get on with this now. Champ actually leading us around the last turn. He's going to have to get into formation here as they come out of the last turn and onto the pit straight here for round one of Motive Racing's USA series here at Road America in the IndyCars. It's up to CMC when he wants to go now. The track is green whenever he puts his foot to the floor, and it looks all... And it looks like we're underway. CMC puts his foot to the floor. Champ already passed him on the outside as we come over the line to start the race. It looks like Ugbar's got a good jump. He's jogging to the middle of these guys as they come up towards turn one. It looks like Bowie has got up passed by that's Pro Fubby around the outside, but spins out at turn one. Pro Fubby having to stay well out of the way there, getting all sorts of out of shape there. And you can see it looks like CMC has led us through turn one. Champ starts in second place. Smithy is up into third place. What a start there from Smithy. Fantastic. And it looks like, as we see Smithy spinning it coming through turn two. Is that Smithy? Or it's not. It's actually, it looks like it may have been, it was that Ugbar there spinning out coming through turn two. Disaster there. Pro Fabi looks like he's out of the race already. Disaster there for him. Let's switch to another camera and let's see these other guys. Pro Fubby out of the race straight away. It looks like Pro Hero is the only member of Pro Team still out on the track in this one. In the meantime though, CMC leading the way. 7/10 of a second is his lead to his champ. It looks like Smithy is coming under increasing pressure now from Pro Hero, flying the flag for his team. His two teammates already out of the race. Pro Alpha dropping out in qualifying, and looks like Pro Fubby, unfortunate victim there of a first lap incident. But CMC here trying to shake off Champ, but Champ was sticking all the way back to him the whole way through that first part of the race. You can see there he's really, really intent on getting past him, but CMC having none of it, and looks like he's actually pulled out a second here in this middle sector. In the meantime, also Hovno closing onto the back of Pro Fubby, so this is a battle here for third place developing. And what's going on between 8th, 9th, 10th? So it looks like it's very close between Ollie, Decrox and Bowie, and Falguest trying to get involved in this action. We see Decrox getting absolutely swamped onto the grass there. Falguest moves up the inside up into P10. Decrox could do absolutely nothing about that, and drops back now down into 11th position. I'm not sure if the stream is lagging, guys. Let us know exactly what's going on.
I just heard over the team radio there that Pro Fubby has retired from the race due to that incident we saw during the second corner.
Pro Fubby out of the race. Disaster there for him. Very unfortunate to see as we see Decrox bringing it into the pits on the very first lap. So that is a fascinating development there for Decrox. I'm not sure if that's going to pay off later on in the race. We'll have to obviously keep an eye on that one and see how this one goes. But Hovno PR Del Pata is now closing onto the back of Pro Fubby. Just hearing a team radio there from our in-race reporter and safety car driver Honey Badger there, letting us know that the stream is very, very smooth. Thank you for that. And Hovno is still looking all over the back of Pro Fubby coming into turn 3, but he can't make the move. Runs a little bit wide onto the asphalt just a little bit, and that will not help him one bit. You can see here it's Pro Hero, not Pro Fubby. I do apologise. And in the background, you can also see RDJ is just seems to have lost touch with these guys on the opening lap. Had a bit of a difficult start to the race. Ollie Ra running in 7th place. He's got Bowie right behind him. Let's have a look at the battle for 7th and 8th, because this is very, very close between these boys. You can see Bowie is all over the back. Ollie runs wide there, coming through the Louisville Bridge, and it looks like Bowie's up into 7th place. Ollie just getting caught out there, feeling the pressure, and maybe cold tyres there doing the causing that to happen. Bowie now up into some clear air, and next up Ollie is looking very vulnerable to Ugbar as we see Bowie getting almost a little bit loose there onto the grass, but just about holding it together. Now it looks like Ugbar's having a look at Ollie. He's looking right, looking left, ducking in inside, but he can't make the move. Ollie early on the brakes, and looks like Ugbar looking to the outside, but Ugbar goes very wide, and that's put paid to his chances of taking the position. He's lost lots of time. In the background there you also saw Falguest wrestling the car coming through that final sector, but he looks like he's held onto it for the time being. So meanwhile at the front we've got CMC F1 leading the way by 2.4 seconds. Champ stuck with him for the first lap. He was playing mind games with him on the formation lap, but it looks like CMC has not faltered under the pressure, not having any of Champ's games here this evening in the season opener, and good on him for CMC. He had a turbulent race last night in the LMP2s, but he's more than making up for it tonight here at Road America. It's great to see our home racer, American driver. In fact, it's a USA 1-2, so the USA fans here at this Road America track will be absolutely delighted to see how this one is panning out for the time being. So it's a fantastic start for these guys, and CMC raced with us regularly in the GTE Championship on Monday nights, races in Tier 2. Has been with us since the beginning here at Motive Racing. Don't believe he's won a race yet so far, so I mean it's early days in this race. I don't want to start hexing him or cursing him, but it could be on for a win here. If he can keep this sort of pace up, it would be a fantastic way to get off the mark here for CMC F1, if indeed he can do that. Let's have a look back and see what's going on with Hovno here in 9th position. It looks like he's got Ugbar. Oh, Hovno's crashed! Oh, gee, God, that does not look like a healthy car.
Okay.
We got, no, oh, hold on, where's Ugbar? Oh, yes, we got a yellow flag, ladies and gentlemen. Caution, caution, safety car is out, safety car is out. We got a caution, safety car is out, ladies and gentlemen. Safety car is out. Safety car is out. Let's follow the leader, guy, and see whereabouts our leader is. Looks like he's just crossed over the line. The safety car is out, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. Safety car is out. So for the first time here at Motive Racing, you are going to see what happens when we have a caution. So it's going to massively benefit those guys who have already been into the pits, because now they're going to be able to catch up to the rest of the pack. So guys like Decrox are going to have a huge advantage here. This gamble for Decrox has well and truly paid off here, my guy.
Oh yeah, definitely. These two, that kind of incident that we just saw there, it
On
does.
land or two?
Uh, say one because they're quite close to the end.
Has Upper gone in for damage?
It looks like
Uh,
Ugbars, yeah, and Decrox as well.
Shall we wait for him to get back up to the group then, or...?
We're just hearing reports there that Hovno has actually retired the car. It looks like that was terminal damage to that car. Couldn't be fixed by a quick trip to the pits. Ugbar's coming around still with damage to that car. And we're currently watching Honey Badger, our safety car driver, the Burt Mylander of motor racing here, coming under the Corvette bridge in the Corvette GTE, sporting the yellow livery. Sorry, Emo guy.
just like I was saying, that kind of just shows exactly how how easy it is to spin out these cars on, especially on a track like this, especially when they're made more for an oval track. It's super easy, to touch the grass, you're out. Those wheels come off a lot easier compared to like the likes of the safety car can, and it's just so easy to try and just end up ruining your own race.
It is unfortunately, and obviously with this safety car feature, it's going to be interesting because it becomes essentially a bit of a lottery when it comes down to if people have pitted or not. Because, as I say, those guys who have already been in are going to benefit enormously due to the fact that they don't need to pit once again in this session. So Decrox is going to have the benefit of fresh rubber and a much better, more healthy car, and he's going to be right at the back of the pack, ready to pick these guys off. So, as I say. It's all a new thing here at Motive Racing. We've never done this before. We've never done cautions or safety cars, so it's going to be fascinating to see how this pans out and also how the restart ends up going. Let's keep an eye.
Going off this lap?
Akbar's still in the pits at the
Akbar's
minute.
still in the pits, yeah.
Akbar's...
Akbar's. Here we go.
Right.
He's off the jacks. So we should be receiving Ugbar out of the pit lane anytime now. He's he's just over a lap down. So we'll be doing one more lap under caution, and then we will be going.
Right.
So yeah, Ugbar getting caught up with the Hovno guys. If you're just joining us here live on YouTube, then let us know, guys. Let us know what you think of the action so far. Let us know who you want to take the victory here in this round one of the USA series here at Motive Racing, and be sure to let us know what you enjoy, what you think we could do better here. As we see here, the pack are just coming out of the last corner now, so Ugbar's going to avoid going 2 laps down just about, and he should hopefully, if he can really get his foot to the floor, he will be able to unlap himself. As we see a couple of guys here coming into the pits. In fact, there's a lot of guys coming into the pits. So this is...
Akbar is done with his repairs.
Yep, Ugbar's on his way out. So this is going to shake up the pack a little bit. The strategy is playing out very interestingly indeed. I can't wait to see how this goes. This is going to be brilliant here to see how these guys are going to cope with the with all these changes that we've got here, Emo Guy. But let us know, Emo Guy. Actually, who do you think is going to take this one? Who's looking good in your eyes for the win tonight?
Well, Champ and CMC, they're both, they've both had, been dominant for most of this race, up until the safety car. So I'm keeping my eye on those two. It's going to be a split 50-50. I can't really tell anything apart from them at the minute.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very, very difficult at this point. But I mean, Champ's had some good pace. He's been into the pits by the looks of it, so he's going to drop back into the middle of the pack. If he can stay out of trouble, I think he'll have a great chance here of coming back at CMC. CMC really does need another caution in this race, I would say.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's going to come under fire here from Champ towards the latter stages of the race. But it's 25 laps left to go. We're on lap 5 of this one, and this is the final lap of the caution. We're going to have safety car coming in at the end of this lap. Looks like Ugbar is almost catching up now. He's about half a lap behind these guys, so he should be with them any time now.
Are we going to have the safety car for all the rest of the championships, yeah?
Safety car is only in the USA series at the moment. It's a bit of a trial run. It's just because obviously we're going to be using it for the oval tracks, because oval tracks, there do tend to always be incidents of some nature, with the road courses. We just wanted to be consistent with this, so we decided to implement the road course safety cars as well, just to see how it works. And so far, it's worked a treat. It's definitely shaken up things
Oh yeah,
in the pecking order.
it definitely gives those, lower tier drivers, that you don't really expect, you have a chance, it gives them a chance to get up there, be closer up, gives them a chance to keep that slipstream up and get up ahead of them. Here comes Akbar, only 2 corners behind the rest of the pack. Definitely not been a good start for him in this race. And there you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're currently following our safety car here, Honey Badger, who is just about to pull off into the pit lane as we are about to get underway once again for the restart here at Road America. These guys are all very tightly bunched up. The pack now separated by what is supposedly 5 seconds on the timing boards, but that would be at full racing speeds. The actual gap covering them probably about 15 seconds. Honey Badger's going to pull over to the right hand side just about now, and we will be...
I'm not going in. Someone's lost a wheel.
What?
Lost a wheel, apparently. Somebody's lost a wheel.
We're just hearing reports that Yellow is still under caution. A bizarre incident here. What has happened to Champ? That does not look good. It looks like he is really struggling to get back to the pits. He's moving. That is very, very painful to watch.
Yeah, it looks like he's still got both wheels, just one of them is jammed.
My goodness.
No, actually no, my apologies, he's lost his back right wheel, and it would appear his back right has jammed up.
Honestly, at this point, if I were Champ, I would just retire the car. It doesn't look like he's going anywhere fast. But we've got a few more guys coming into the pits. We're staying under caution for another lap, guys. That's very unfortunate there for Champ. Not sure if he was trying to light up the rear tyres or keep those warm, but whatever the situation, it looks like his race is over. Sebastian in the comments there saying, "Come on, Champ." Well, I don't think he's going to be winning this one, unfortunately, Seb, tonight.
No, definitely not.
Back with the boys in the pack.
I've just been told that is Bowie's wheel in the back of Champ's car.
Wait, what?
Oh my goodness me.
What the hell happened to Bowie? He's in the pits. Yeah.
Bowie's undergoing repairs, so that is very unfortunate, but Champ, absolutely gutting. It's not just to know that it's not even his wheel. It's not even a fault of his own that his car was.
Someone braked early.
Yeah. Bro, hearing that Apparently he was brake tested there on the formation lap, and unfortunately an innocent bystander there, Champ, out of the race in round one, and hoping that he can have a better round next time out. As we see Bowie here getting his foot to the floor to try and catch up to the pack, which look like they're at the end of the middle sector by the looks of it. In fact, they're actually going around turn 5 now, is it? Yep, it looks like they're going around turn 5. Yeah, up towards this 90-degree left-hander of turn 6. And Bowie should be with these guys in a moment. So looks like we're about to go for our first restart of the evening. Obviously, this will be our second rolling start, aside from the start at the actual race. And currently, we've got CMC leading the way. His main challenger for the race victory, Champ, finds himself out of the race. Very unfortunate here this evening. We've still got 9 cars left out on track here to take the checkered flag. We had 13 on the track to begin with, so we've got a depleted field here for round 1. Obviously this is going to be a process, and it's going to take a little while for these guys to really get in sync and sort themselves out. But looks like we're almost about to get going here, and it's great to finally be so close to actually getting some racing underway here, my guy.
Yeah, definitely. It has definitely been a really interesting one for the very first, USA Championship race of automotive racing. With these kind of things, it is just purely trial and error. People are still not used to these cars and how they handle. And also with the safety car, people are still trying to get used to being at the slower speed bunched together. But there is, like you said, there's still things to be worked out. Trial and error in this case.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all a learning game at the moment. It's a lot of these guys are new to this, so it's not something that it's not easy to practice Indy cars. I mean, there aren't too many IndyCar lobbies available at our sort of time of day here in England, so not many people doing it. But it looks like Honey Badger here accelerating at the end of the lap, so it looks like we are pretty much set to go racing here for the first restart of the evening. We've had 1 caution so far, and CMC will dictate the pace here coming up the hill at Road America. He's got RDJ to his right hand side, left hand side of your screen, Olimar and Pro Fabi on the second row. We've got Falguest, Ugbar, D-Croc, Smithy, Bowie at the back. And it looks like we're underway. CMC puts his foot to the floor. RDJ gets a sleepy start there. Olimar already attacking on the right hand side. He's got Pro Fabi also alongside him, coming up towards turn 1. Pro Fabi having a look here at Olimar, but looks like he's a little bit too far back to make a move. CMC into turn 1 with the lead. RDJ second. RDJ spun it. RDJ into the wall. Oh, and there's a big crash. Big crash at turn 1. That's a safety car. We've got a caution from the race director here. They've got a safety car. Incredible stuff. It looks like we can't go more than a few yards without a crash here this evening at Motive Racing. Unfortunate. RDJ almost been in it there on the exit of turn 2. So, ladies and gentlemen, looks like we are under caution once again. And you saw there, it was just RDJ, probably cold tyres, causing that one a little bit there, Emo guy, I'd say.
Yeah, but just after so many laps of just going slow, it's not going to let those tires stay to temperature. Then going down at that straight, people going down that straight, they would be expecting to get round the corner perfectly fine, and then both you go a little bit wide, you're on the grass, you're out.
Yeah, obviously, and as soon as you hit that curve on the left hand side, I know from personal experience at Road America, it's a very, very tricky customer to ride that outside curb. Even in these dry conditions, it can be really, really, what's the word? Treacherous.
Yeah.
So obviously it looks like RDJ's caught up to the pack. I'm not sure if he incurred any damage here, but obviously because we're not passing the pit lane to reach the safety car, this does mean that obviously we've got to bunch up, and it looks like he will get a chance to pit, because I think our safety car driver Honey Badger is at the end of the pit lane, I believe. That's where I think he is at the moment. Indeed,
yep.
He is.
Ollie Mart is just not doing well at all.
Yeah, he's had a bit of a difficult one. Obviously, the contact with RDJ may have always RDJ gives him a little bit of a kiss on the back there. The definite contact between those two will have compromised them ever so slightly, and I'm sure they're just pretty feeling lucky that they've got the opportunity to come in for repairs at the end of this lap.
Yeah. Just, I love. Oh, that was
Oh, there's
damage.
a piece of carbon fibre going flying there into the back.
Ooh.
What is going on here, ladies and gentlemen? We do not condone this. This is let's flick to another camera because this is what we don't want to see here. There seems to be some kind of bad blood going on between those guys. I'm not sure if that was intentional, but that will be looked at by the stewards after this race.
We
And
here at Moto would like to, give it this friendly message of we do not condone any kind of dirty racing or taking out of any other drivers.
yeah, absolutely. This is not what we're about here at Motive, and we want to just shout out with everybody watching here. That's disgraceful behaviour. But we've got the safety car, should be coming through turn 1 right about now, so CMC will pick him up in just a couple of moments time. Here he is, Honey Badger.
Doing what a Corvette does best, going slow.
Obviously guys, if you want to see a Corvette going at racing speeds, then be sure to tune in tomorrow night between 7 and 10 PM BST, that's British Summer Time, otherwise it's known as UK time. For those of you who think that UK time is GMT, it's actually not in the summertime. It's actually, we move our clocks forward 1 hour, so we're currently running BST here in Britain. Be sure to tune in tomorrow 7 PM BST for the GTE Tier 2, and following that at 8 o'clock will be Tier 1, and we'll be live from Laguna Seca for that one. We're hearing rain forecast for the sprint race, and the feature race is going to be into the night time, into the sunset in the California desert. Or is it, no, is it Nevada? I don't know. Is Laguna Seca in Nevada or California?
I think it's Nevada, I'm not too sure.
It's one of them.
Yeah.
I know it's in the
It's
desert.
it's in somewhere sunny.
Yeah, in the desert. It's sandy anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, if you're interested in tuning in for live racing action here on Project Cars 2 on the PlayStation 4 platform, then be sure to tune in on Monday night for the GTEs at Laguna Seca. Then on Tuesday night we will be going to the Clio Cup, and that will be from the Oschersleben. That one's heating up. Very, very exciting racing going on there as well. And then on, no, sorry, Sportsman Sugo, I do apologise. Oschersleben is on Friday in the GT5 Genettas. I do apologise for that, guys. That was an error on commentary. So on Tuesday night, we'll be at Sportsman Sugo for round 2 of the Clio Cup. Friday night, the GT5 Genettas Cup will be at Oschersleben. On Saturday night, we'll be at Suzuka for the LMP2s, and the GT3 Championship will be at Donington Park at 5 PM BST. Also check that out, and if you want, you can also have a look at the round 1 from yesterday night, where I actually won the feature race.
Green this time, boys, green this time.
Right.
So it sounds like we're just hearing from Bert Mylander, the safety car driver, that it's going to be green light this time around, as we see Olimar and RDJ racing to catch up to the pack. Let's hope that they can get it slowed down in time. Yes, they do. So we are almost ready to go. Lights out for our second restart of the evening and our third rolling start altogether this evening. Honey Badger is going to drive off out of this right-hander that you see. As soon as we come out of this right-hander, he's going to speed off into the distance and leave some space so that these guys can have plenty of acceleration as they come out of the last turn. And then CMC, it'll be down to him to dictate the pace and get his foot to the floor. Honey Badger doing a great job tonight. Big hats off to him. Has been commentating a lot throughout this week. He was alongside me in the box for the GTEs on Monday night. On Tuesday night, he single-handedly ran the show on the Motive Racing channel. On Friday night, he was in the box for the Tier 1 of the GT5 Genettas, and also raced a Brands Hatch in the Tier 2s as well. Saturday night he was racing in the LMP. No, he was commentating all night for the LMP2s, as we see here. It looks like we're about to go racing here, and CMC has put his foot to the floor here, and we are underway once again. Pro Fubby sleeps a little bit off the start. It looks like Falgas is coming under pressure now, and Ugbar and D-Crocs almost side by side here. Brilliant start there. Falgas looking to the inside of Pro Fubby. Looks like we're pretty clean now coming through turn 1. Guys all holding it together here, and it looks like we've got Ugbar coming under pressure now from D-Crocs as well. And we see Ugbar getting a little bit wide there, and RDJ spun out already. Disaster there for RDJ. He's already right at the back of the field into 9th place, and he's about 12 seconds behind the leader already. That's a horrible start. RDJ doing similar things to what we saw in the previous restart, so that has not gone to plan at all for him. It looks like Ugbar also lost it on the exit of turn 2 as well, so both these guys now down to 8th and 9th place already. Absolutely gutting.
Definitely. Oh, who was that? Smithy.
Sounds like we've got another caution here, ladies and gentlemen. We've got another safety car. Yeah. We've got another safety car. Honey Badger, could you just let the guys know in the chat that unless you call a safety car, there is no safety car. There is on this occasion, but just let them know that unless you actually tell them, there is no caution. So basically just make them aware of that, mate, if you can. Just hearing reports that Smithy has unfortunately had to pull out of the race. Very unfortunate there to see Smithy pulling out. Hopefully we can get an interview with him in the commentary box in a few moments' time.
Yeah, it's definitely not been a good first race for the USA Championship for quite a lot of races.
It's been an incredibly unfortunate night for a lot of these guys. It's really not gone to plan, and hopefully we can start this. I mean, there will be talk behind the scenes, I'm absolutely certain, over whether or not we keep the full damage model here for this championship. A lot of guys say it's authentic, and it helps to iron out the creases. You know what I'm talking about, emo guy. But obviously it also does cause a lot of problems on the stream and also amongst the drivers. We just have a look at the comments to see what a few of these guys are saying. So we've got Sebastian saying, can we get an onboard shot of the safety car? We will do once the pack have caught up to the safety car, Sebastian. Once the pack are behind him, we'll get a good shot of him on board in the cockpit if we can at some point. There he is, Honey Badger, sat in turn 1. He's completed 5 laps of this race as Honey Badger, almost half the number of laps of the actual guys who are racing. So, yeah. You know, he's completed a hefty amount of distance here as Honey Badger, our safety car driver here this evening, has really been working hard. Hopefully he'll be getting paid overtime here for tonight's race.
Yeah, maybe use his paycheck to upgrade to a better car.
Maybe they'll put him in a GT1 for the next one.
Yeah, and then it's not a Corvette. Don't get me wrong, I like the Corvettes, they sound nice. That's what I'm driving for the GTEs. But, just in general, they're not nice.
As we see here, the pack being backed up, so we've got a lot of guys coming into the pits now, obviously taking advantage of the situation, and we're riding on board here with our safety car driver. You can see in the bottom right corner of your screens there's a little inset where you can see the mirror, his rear view mirrors. In fact, that's not a rear view mirror, that is an actual rear view camera on the dashboard of his car, which is showing live photos of Falgast, CMC even. Our current race leader, CMC, who has pretty much led this race from start to the current point. We are a third of the race distance here at Road America, and we've done a couple of racing laps, I think, so far.
I think we've done, 2 or 3 racing laps.
Yeah, 2 or 3 racing laps. A lot of this race has been done. I mean, you can work it out because Honey Badger, our safety car driver, is on lap 5. And the race leader's on lap 10, so actually we've done 5 laps of racing here, so it's not too bad so far. You know, when you consider we're doing full damage in the Indy cars, and these guys haven't put in the greatest amount of practice, it has to be said.
Yeah, definitely not. This track just demands perfection. Oh, especially with this corner here. It looks like a friendly corner. It looks like you can just keep your foot down and go around it. But once you hit it, you're like, oh god, no, I'm not going to be able to do this at full tilt.
Green this time, green this time.
Yeah, but we're just hearing our safety car driver there saying we're going to go green this time around. RDJ seems to be a little bit behind here. He's got 17 seconds to catch up to these guys before we go green. Hopefully RDJ can make it round. He's just coming through that long spoon-shaped right-hander that Evo guy was just talking about.
It's definitely been a really interesting race. I was expecting a lot, compared to what I've seen a lot of these racers, drive like, how experienced they are. I was expecting, a little bit more of a, less shoulder touch type race.
Yeah, absolutely. I was hoping that these guys would be a little bit more cautious here in the opening laps, and that we'd see this sort of thing maybe towards the back end of the race. Maybe see a couple of guys who had a couple of incidents maybe being brought into play, but instead we've just seen non-stop carnage. And let's have a look here. Honey Badger's coming in here, so it looks like ODJ's just about made it to the back of the pack, and we're about to go green here. CMC puts his foot to the floor, and we are underway once again. Falguest looks like he's got a decent start there, clinging to the back of him just about. Faoui looking very, very offensive here, coming down the straight towards turn one. In fact, it looks like Decrox is, Bowie looking to the inside there of Falguest. Looks like he's not quite close enough to make it happen though into turn one.
I've just heard over the radio there that we have lost RDJ. He has retired to the pits.
That's very unfortunate there for RDJ. It looks like we may be, I hate to say it, but inevitably there will be questions asked over this full damage model here in this USA series, and potentially maybe a revision to the rules and regulations and track settings here. As we see there, it looks like Decrox looking to the inside there of Bowie, but he can't make it happen for the time being. Coming through turn three, has to back out of that one. In the background there you can see Bowie looking, Bowie looking towards the inside there of Falguest as well. So this is a battle for second, third and fourth, and it looks like Pro Fabi trying to get involved. Decrox has gone wide. Pro Fabi up into fourth place. In the meantime, Olimar picks up a position as well, so Olimar elevated up into fifth place. Decrox there having all sorts of problems. Olimar all over the back now of Pro Fabi as they come through the Louisville Bridge, and you can see there he had to back out of that Decrox because Pro Fabi was going side by side and had the inside line. Ogbar, you saw there the Flying Dutchman get it flying off onto the grass. And Decrox here has had a turbulent start to this race, but he is clinging to the back of Pro Fabi just about. We're just getting a Discord call there from RDJ, but we can't unfortunately speak to him at the moment because we are in a commentary booth. We'll see if we can get him involved in the party chat and get his take on what was going out on tracks. It looked like absolute chaos, and I honestly do hope that we get the damage model looked at for this series, because I think it has the potential to be a fantastic series, Emo Guy, but I think this full damage model, we're not quite ready for it yet. In the future maybe, at this time maybe not.
Nah, definitely not, especially when it's only the first race.
Always we see there Falguest going very wide there, coming through turn one. And just seeing Champ there is disconnected, obviously was out of the race quite a while ago. Decrox now all over the back of Falguest coming out of turn two. He's going to slot into the slipstream here, coming down the back straight. In the meantime, we're watching our Flying Dutchman here, struggling in 7th place. Let's go back to see what's happening with Falguest and Decrox though. Decrox looking to the inside here, coming towards turn three. Falguest very late on the brakes there, and just about makes the apex. In fact, he makes it quite well. And just somehow I'm receiving a call from Bowie. I'm not quite sure how. Obviously running in P2 currently in this race, but just going to get our in-race reporter and safety car driver Honey Badger to speak to these guys and try and figure out what exactly is going on here on the track. But for the time being, we've got Falguest here coming under increasing pressure now from Decrox. Absolutely nothing separating these boys, and we're getting some clean racing at last. Emo guy.
Everything's harmony and game show.
Have you invited RDJ into the chat, Andy?
Guys, if we could get RDJ into the chat to have a quick chat on the.
Personally, I wouldn't because he's not happy with the damage.
Well, I try and keep it, PG-13 with the chat, I would imagine.
That's true. That's true.
Maybe just have a talk with him afterwards.
Ladies and gentlemen, you join us here on lap 13 here for the opening round of Motive Racing's USA Series, and just seeing our lead coordinator there, Bowie, unfortunately has disconnected from the race. He was running in a prominent position in P2 at the time. It looks like Decrox has got past Falguest in the battle for P2. Has he got the inside here? It looks like Falguest into the slipstream. This is the battle for second, third and fourth. Ollie Marr trying to get involved in the back. Oh, Ollie Marr spun! Oh, Falguest has spun.
Falguest.
We got a safety car here, ladies and gentlemen. Safety car, big damage to those guys. That is not safe. We've got another caution here, lap 13 of this race, and this is our fourth caution of the night, and we will have, for the fifth time this evening, another rolling start once this caution has subsided. Obviously the marshals are going to have to sort out the debris that you see on the track here in front of you. But this has been, I would say, at the very least, a turbulent start to the USA Series tonight, Emo guy.
Yeah, it's definitely been a heated one. It's just having a look in the chat for the Discord, and a few people are not happy with the way that things turned out tonight.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if we could get maybe the league coordinator having just disconnected from the room. We could make the most of this opportunity to actually have a chat and just see where we go forward from this, because tonight has been, honestly, it's hectic, and it's unfortunate to see. I don't know whether we can. I've got the stream on, so I can't invite him. I don't know if either of you guys are gonna seize on this opportunity to have a quick chat with Bowie in the heat of the moment as soon as this happened, and see what maybe we can do about this, because it's absolutely gutting to see. Maybe we could get him on the commentary booth for the remainder of this race, hopefully, as we see Falguest there. Looks like he's into his pit box. No, he's showing us offline.
Yeah, I'll send him an invite right now. Well, I'll suggest him anyway.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're under caution here. We're just going to quickly go off screen. We will be back on in just a few moments' time. Apologies for the breakup that you're experiencing live on YouTube on the Motive Racing channel. This will subside in a few moments' time. And I just want to say a big thank you to everyone for sticking with us on the stream. It's been not the ideal start, not the start we would have hoped for here for the USA Series, but we have still got 6 guys out on the track who all equally as determined to win this race.
Yeah, it's definitely been a fun / confusing one for this. Because like I said, a couple of minutes ago, with these kind of cars, they are tricky. Because they are more of a mixture between an actual race road car and a Formula 1 car, and they are quite a tricky combination.
They are indeed, especially these cars also very wide as well. The safety precautions were introduced for the Indy cars after Dan Weldon's accident a few years ago. Unfortunately, tragically lost his life. British driver lost his life at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and this was the catalyst for a lot of changes to be made to the Indy cars. Obviously the protective protection on the rear tyres was implemented, as well as the cars being made much wider, and slowed down quite a bit as well. So it's quite obviously with the wider cars, it does invite a lot more incidents.
Ten four.
As we're just doing our safety car driver Honey Badger announcing that we will be coming into he will be coming into the pits at the end of this lap, so we will be about to go green. We've got 4 guys in the pack behind him, but there are a couple more guys catching up to the pack as we speak. Ollie and Falguest in the background. You can see at the back of your picture there, about to get involved in this race once again. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a new leader here in this race for the time being. For how long, we don't know, but D Crocs is going to lead us round out of the last corner and take the green flag once again. For the 4th time this evening, we are going to be doing a restart. This is our 5th rolling start of the night. D Crocs is going to lead us round. Honey Badger is going to pull off to the right hand side, and it's going to be up to D Crocs to put his foot down. For the first time this evening, CMC is not going to be leading us over the line. Let's see how he copes with this restart. It looks like he's a bit of a sluggish one. He's not got away too well. He's got Ollie Morrow over the back of him as D Crocs comes over the line to start. It looks like Pro looks to the out. Pro Hero, sorry, looks to the outside coming up towards turn 1. It looks like Pro Hero is already around the outside there of D Crocs. Great stuff there from him. It gets a little bit loose. They're coming through turn 1, but just holds on to it. And in the background there, you can see it looks like Ugbar there getting way out of shape and already down into 6th place, already down to the back of the pack.
He's already got front wing damage already again.
Yeah, it looks like he does, unfortunately, but obviously a lone car incident there for Ugbar, and there will be no safety car introduced for this one. Half distance here for Motive Racing's USA Series Round 1 here at Road America in the Indy cars. We've had a lot of drama here, and it looks like we got D Crocs there going off in the background onto the grass, and that's going to allow CMC up into 2nd place. Can D Crocs keep it ahead of Ollie in the meantime, though? As we ride with Pro Hero, our new race leader, our 3rd different race leader of the night, CMC, D Crocs, and now Pro Hero showing the way, flying the flag for the Pro team. It's good to see. We've had a couple of retirements from the Pro team earlier in the race. We've obviously had a few dramas, and we do dearly hope that these boys do decide to stick with us and have some patience here with this series. Obviously it's new starting out, and we've never done anything like this ever before, and with the damage, maybe it was a mistake. We'll have to review and sit down and have a talk about this, but here at Motive Racing we take this sort of thing very, very seriously, and we would like to impress that this is not something that we take lightly, and we will make sure to ensure that this does not happen again. We do not have a repeat of what's happened so far in this race, but aside from that, we've still got a race here, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a lot of guys here. There are at least 5 guys in this race who I'm sure are fully capable of taking the W tonight. Pro Hero currently showing the way by 1.1 seconds here to CMCF1 out front. Ugbar struggling in that car, just not able to nail down the setup for whatever reason. It's not really gone to plan for him, but we're currently seeing Pro Hero, who's actually doing quite a good job here of maintaining the gap to CMC.
Yeah, he is. CMC, from what we've seen of him today, he's been keeping a pretty consistent gap between him and 2nd, but he's just having a lot of trouble trying to catch up to Hero right now.
Yeah, he is a little bit. The gap sort of staying between 1 and 1.5 seconds so far. We're just seeing J Palmer says safety car only if it involves more than 2 other cars. Yep, that's the idea. Ugbar there coming in, so I'm not sure. Ugbar needs a safety car later on in the race if he's going to make this work. He needs a yellow flag, but is he going to get it here? I'll have to wait and see. In the meantime, though, the gap at the front, 1.5 seconds. The gap between D Crocs and Ollie looking very, very close now. D Crocs and Ollie separated by about half a second. In the background there, you can see those guys coming round. Let's try and ride on board with Ollie if we can. Race director, if that's possible. Here we go. Currently closing the gap, but it looks like he's got a little bit of grass there on the right left hand side. Negative. just mentioning there on stream that if Ugbar wants to get him back into this race, he needs a safety car, because otherwise he's not going to find a way back into this. Currently a lap down, still in the pit lane, gutting for our Flying Dutchman here, Remogo.
Sorry, can you repeat that? My microphone got cut off.
I was just saying it's...
There's a car in front of me. There's a car in front of me. We're just spanning to.
Just hearing reports there from the pit lane. Apparently the Flying Dutchman, as he put the hammer down out of the pit exit, actually drove into Honey Badger. Oh no! Oh, possible! Oh no! No, it's only one car. It's only one car. No safety car. But the Flying Dutchman having a torrid evening. It's gone from bad to worse for him. Ultimately lost control of the car coming out of the pit exit and actually drove into our esteemed safety car driver, Honey Badger.
Oh,
Hopefully Honey Badger didn't spill his tea all over the all over the interior of that car.
You should know me by now.
Well, Honey Badger there saying over the radio to us that he would actually rather have coffee in the car, so whatever it was, he's been spilling coffee all over it, and also a can of Budweiser, but don't tell anyone because he's meant to be driving tonight.
Well, that coffee will not make that Corvette go any faster.
Well, he's got to try everything he can at the end of the day, you know.
Well, unfortunately, nothing you can do will make that any faster.
No, it's the way it is, unfortunately. It's the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Well, looking at Akbar, it looks like he's lost his front wing, he's done damage to his front left axle. If you look at the front left, it is kind of off balance, and he's lost his entire back wing.
yeah, that car's going nowhere fast at the moment, and it
Yep.
was just fresh out of the pits as well. It's he needs a miracle to get back into this race. 2 laps down here, and in the meantime, we're seeing CMC, who's got round Pro Hero for the lead. And last time round was 3 seconds faster. D-Crocs closing that gap to Pro Hero in the background. They're side by side here, coming down the back straight. Can D-Crocs make a move here, coming up towards turn 3? Let's get some eyes here on the battle for P2. It looks like D-Crocs has... Oh, we don't know yet because the cam... Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, race director.
You.
Can we get some eyes on the P2? Thank you. Pro Hero here. It looks like he's defending for his life here ahead of D-Crocs. Nothing at all separating these boys, as we see here. Late on the brakes there from D-Crocs, trying to get involved in this action, but Pro Hero resolutely defending the position. We saw Pro Hero was leading the race for a couple of laps, ultimately made a small mistake which allowed CMC to get a look in, but the gap only 1.5 seconds between these top two, and D-Crocs sticking to him like glue at the moment. Falguest looks like he's had an absolute horror story on this lap, because he's dropped 20 seconds to these guys. Oh, that does not look healthy. That does not look healthy
really,
at all.
It really does not.
We have got a very, very wounded Falguest here, making his way around. Let's hope that he can nurse that back to the pits. But he needs a yellow flag at some point during this race. As we hear Honey Badger's safety car siren going off in the background there.
Yeah, it's an ambulance.
But your Falguest here coming through what looks to be the final sector of the lap, and that is going nowhere fast. Unfortunately for him, it's not been the greatest of evenings here for Falguest. The commentator yesterday evening in the LMP2s.
No, he's definitely not having a good race this week. But no, it's the first race of the USA Championship. You know, obviously people will be doing a lot more practice, trying to improve their setups. Just, you know, trying to improve how they think they hit the car handles on each specific corner of the track. It's just trial and error. Try to fix what you can. Just get out there and get better.
Absolutely, it's all a learning experience. And as I say, I've mentioned it before this evening, but hopefully we can get the damage model sorted out for this series, because it is the only thing that's really holding it back at the moment. And
yeah, I have a feeling we would have had a lot more racers stick in even if it was just the not even engine damage, but just not even, what's the word I'm looking for? Heck, one where it's like just it's not body but engine damage.
Yeah, engine damage. So the small amount of contact will require people to go into the pits, and it will at least do something, as you say. It'll keep people
Yeah.
wary.
Yeah, just put the engine damage on, take body damage off. That way, it doesn't force people into the pits every couple of laps.
Absolutely, it's definitely something to look at. As I say, we are constantly learning here at Motive Racing. This is the first time we've done anything or even attempted anything like this ever before, so it's just a learning game at this stage. Two guys who have adapted and learnt the quickest here, CMC and D Crocs, leading the way. 7/10 of a second separates these boys on lap 20 of 30 at Road America. This is a very, very exciting race for the lead here. CMC has been out the front for most of this race, qualified on pole position just ahead of Champ. Unfortunately, Champ has had a torrid race. Unfortunately did struggle earlier on, and ended up disconnecting from the lobby. Actually, we saw his his right front tyre was hanging over the back of his car. Was it his rear right? I think it might be his right rear.
It was his right rear, yeah. It was Bowie's back wheel that knocked off Champ's back right.
Yeah, so obviously Champ just had a bitterly unlucky start to the race, so he could have really been pushing CMC all the way. The gap between those guys wasn't too much. Obviously with the restarts we didn't really get to see what either of them could do to their full potential, but it does look now like CMC does have a small advantage here over D Crocs. This time around he's pulled out just over a second here. He runs pretty nicely there actually. I was going to say he went around wide, but he got that car slowed down very nicely indeed. CMC, our American driver, driving in his home race here, so he will be extra motivated to take the W here in this USA series at Motive Racing.
Well, I feel like CMC's been doing spectacular tonight, coming back from many different positions all the way up to first. I also feel like he may just have some kind of backstory. He's probably driven on this track before in real life. We don't know, but he's definitely doing absolutely spectacular tonight, coming up from 0 losses and 0 wins in any other championship he's took part in. To doing absolutely spectacular tonight.
Yeah, it has been, and from nowhere, as you say. Last night in the LMP2s, it really didn't go to plan for him, but he's responded in the best possible fashion, and that's what you want to see. When someone has a bad round, you always like to see them come back fighting and showing everyone what they can do. That's exactly what CMC has done, so hats off to him. But D Crocs is not going to let him get away with this one. D Crocs is a solid all-round racer. Races in our GT3 championship, was racing last night at Fuji, also races in our GTEs on Monday nights as well. Racing our Clios last season, decided not to take part in our Clio Cup this season, citing that he doesn't really enjoy the cars that much.
Well, nobody enjoys to drive a baguette, so
Well,
I can understand why he doesn't want to.
We beg to differ on that one, Emo guy. I mean, I do. I love the Clios personally. I know that's not everyone's cup of tea. Front wheel drive cars can be a pain in the behind, but for me, I mean, once you get to learn them, you learn to love them. That's the thing about the Clios.
Oh yeah, well, it's for me. I've never really liked Clio. I just don't like the way that front wheel drive cars handle in this game. Don't get me wrong, the game in itself is fantastic. I just feel like they could have done a lot better with the Clios.
Yeah, I see what you mean. It's not recreated in the best possible way. As we see, D Crocs actually has come into the pits for another stop, so maybe banking on a yellow flag. We don't know how much fuel CMC has got in that car though. I'm not sure if he's fuel to the end. We might be able to get an eye on the fuel gauge. Have you got the fuel gauges, Emo guy, available at the moment?
Speedo, yeah, we have them.
Ah, super.
29 litres. He's got more than enough.
29 in the Indy cars. Is that going to get you to, I'm not sure if that gets you to the end, you know. Indy cars are known for burning fuel very excessively. Um, it looks like it's not going down too quickly, I think. Having said that, though,
Yeah, it's just jumped down from 29.3 to 29 flat. Oh yeah, it's going down quite fast.
yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on this one and see how much fuel these guys are burning per lap. But he might just about make it to the flag. It is going to be very, very close, though. I think it's about 3 or 4 litres per lap these guys are burning here.
Well, it's definitely, hats off to CMC. He's definitely pulled something out of his back pocket. He's definitely got a home field advantage here. He also feels a lot more comfortable in the Indy cars compared to the likes of the GTE cars.
Yeah, absolutely. It's clear that CMC has put in the work and the graft here in the practice sessions, and good on him as well. And it looks like, barring any kind of major catastrophes in this race, he should have the victory. 26 litres left in this car according to our fuel gauge. 8 laps left to go, so he needs to be burning around 3.5 litres a lap to make it to the end. 26 over the line. We'll have to keep an eye on this one because he's already down to around 25, I think, coming towards the end of the back straight.
Well,
Actually,
if he keeps up this pace, it looks like he might just end up catching up to the back markers of Ugbar and Falguest. If he does end up catching up to that, he might just be able to catch in a good pit stop, fill up, and just put the boot down and keep it going, and he should secure a comfortable victory in pole position.
yeah, it definitely is. But as you say, I mean, hopefully he can keep this together. It looks like he might be saving fuel. It's closed in by his lap. At the start of the lap, the gap was 38 seconds. It's now down to 36. So maybe he's listening to this and reacting accordingly.
Yeah, he must be. Also, his team in the pits must be giving him some really good direction. They have to fit a little bit. He's got a comfortable lead at the minute. Oh, it looks like Dycroft has fallen back quite a bit actually. I think he might have. That's a big lead he's got now.
Yeah, 36 seconds it was. 38 at the start of this lap, so Dycroft has gone a little bit quicker this time around. We'll keep an eye on the timing boards at the top left of your screen and see what goes on this time around. CMC comes over the line, so he's burned 5 litres of fuel on this lap. So ladies and gentlemen, CMC will have to come in again for another stop at some point between now and the end of the race. 7 to go here at Road America, lap 24 of 30, and it's anyone's race between CMC and D-Crocs. Who is going to take this one? It's absolutely wide open. It looks like we're not going to have any more yellow flags because there's no one really racing side by side or neck and neck at the moment, so I think this should be pretty much the order.
It's Ollie. Oh, he's got a jammed up back right wheel.
Oh, that does not look good. Ollie looks like he's had an absolute nightmare. It's not a safety car because it's not a 2-man collision. It's a 1-man collision. No safety car, ladies and gentlemen. It's just going to be stay as we are. No safety car.
Just put out Badger may as well put out a quick warning saying there is a slow car on the track.
There is a be aware coming through middle sector, but no safety car. So we see Ollie coming to shuddering halt. Badger, if we could just give Ollie a message to, if we could give Ollie a message to please retire the car.
Yeah.
Thank you, Badger.
That is not good news for Ollie.
Yeah, absolute disaster here for Ollie. Obviously a guest cameo appearance tonight. Wasn't down to race in the USA Series, but it's been good to have him out on track, and he's had some good battles tonight with Falguest and with Ugbar. We're just hearing from Ollie that he is going to try and get this car back to the pits. Not sure what state it's going to be in by the time it gets back there. That bottom of that car, the suspension is going to be absolutely shredded But we see here
Yeah.
CMC is coming into the pits for his final pit stop of the evening, and looks like he's coming into his box right about now. So D-Crocs 20 seconds behind. Let's see how quickly these guys can get CMC out. He's got to refuel this car. He's got to put a fair amount of fuel in there. It looks like he's up on the jacks. Let's see how long he takes. He's back down again and off he goes. 34 litres of fuel. Where is D-Crocs at the moment? Is he coming down the pit straight? Whereabouts is he coming?
Yeah.
He's coming down there now. So CMC is going to have to really get his skates on down towards the end of this pit straight. Here he is. There he is on the right hand side. Looks like D-Crocs is into the lead of the race. And CMC comes out, I think, around 5, maybe 6 seconds behind him. So with 6 laps left to go in this race. Oh, we got a collision here. What's going on with Ollie and Falguest? Is that going to be a safety car? That is going to be a safety car. We have got a safety car here with 6 laps left to go. Now, obviously, what do we do
am
here?
Am I seeing this correctly? At the top it says that Oliver's only done 1 lap.
I believe the top 3 should have a safety car. The top 3.
Yeah.
Top 3 have a safety car. Those who are a lap down, unfortunately, out of this one because they are too far behind. They're more than a lap. They're more than 2 laps down. So we will not be waiting for Okbar and for Ollie and for Falguest. Unfortunately, they're too far behind. Looks like Falguest is trying to push Ollie back to the pits.
Yeah, just trying to give him a good chance to keep in this race. But I don't know if I'm seeing this right, but it says at the top for me that Ollie Mart is still on his very first lap. I do not know why.
Yeah, we got a safety car, but the guys in 4th, 5th, and 6th won't be waiting for them. It's only the top 3 that will be taking the restart.
It looks like we might have a lot about camaraderie here on the track. It was nice to see, but you know, it's not always advised.
Ian, if I switch the cameras, please.
Yeah, sorry.
So currently riding with D-Crocs as he catches up to the safety car. We're going to wait for CMC and Pro Hero to catch up, and then we will be green lighted for the final, what will be 4 laps of this race. So who is it going to be taking the victory tonight? D-Crocs, CMC, or maybe Pro Hero is going to be granted a lifeline here coming in towards the end of this race. Has been a turbulent start to the season here at the USA Series. Here at Motive Racing, it's been difficult. There have been problems. I believe that I've said before, the damage model in this series really does need to be revised. I think that we should have visual damage only for this series.
Well, I'm just looking in the USA chat right now on the Discord, and it looks like Flubby wants to be removed from the entire of the USA Championship.
And it's very unfortunate to see that, because I understand his frustrations. At the end of the day, I think there's a much simpler solution to this. I think remove the damage, and I think we're pretty much all sorted for it. It's just unfortunate that a lot of impatience here, and people getting a little bit too hot-headed. These cars are not meant to be driven in that way.
No, definitely not. They're very much like road cars. You can't just push them, beyond their limit and expect to get away with it. You will end up causing an accident, and you will end up just messing up somebody else's race.
Absolutely.
And that's exactly what's happened tonight.
Absolutely, and it's just a side effect of having the full damage on here on Project Cars too. I think it was a no-no, and I do truly hope that this time next week we're running no damage here. We'll be at Daytona next week for the NASCAR, so I mean I'm really excited for it, and I do hope that we stick with it here for this USA Series, unlike what they're saying in the comments. And we're seeing there that Pro Hero has unfortunately disconnected from the lobby. with just over 4 laps to go. That is absolutely heartbreaking for him.
Looks like Ollie has made it back to the pits along with
Right,
Falguest.
Honey Badger, I think we can go this time. Let's ride with our safety car driver. He's completed 7 laps here of the 26, so in the end, not being utilised for as much as maybe we would have thought.
Uh-oh.
And are we seeing?
Looks like
Are we
got a little
seeing
bit too
D-Crocs
ahead of
coming in?
themselves.
Yeah, it looks like we're seeing D-Crocs coming in. So it looks like we're going to be going round for another lap by the looks of it. One more lap under caution, which looks like we're going to have 3 racing laps at the end of this race. It's going to be a battle between CMC and Ugbar, CMC and D-Crocs, and just having a look at the timing boards, Ugbar now might have a chance of coming back round. Potentially. Could find himself in with a chance of taking this race, having spent most of it pretty much in the doldrums.
Yeah, it's been an extremely interesting first race for this championship. You know, a lot of kinks to work out. You know, different things to try and knock about, change settings about. You know, it's not everybody can expect a championship to start out as perfect as every other one that's going on right now.
Yeah, obviously it's not kicked off. It's been far from perfect, but as you say, you can't get it right the first time every time. So it's all just a learning process for us here at Motive. We've never done. I've said it before and I'll say it again. We have never done or ever attempted anything like this ever again. Sorry, we've never attempted anything like this before. That's what I meant to say. We see Ollie there coming into the pits. It looks like he 5 laps behind. I think Ollie on lap 22. Yep, he is indeed, and I'm not sure if he's retiring that car. Looks like he may be out of this race. I'm not sure. It doesn't look like there are any repairs underway in that pit box, so I think Ollie has well and truly put a pin in this race.
Yeah, he's right now. He's 43 minutes behind. That's all he has right now. 43 minutes behind the pace. Yeah.
Yo, that is pretty detached there from Ollie. In the meantime, let's see what's going on with our front 2 boys.
No, the person at the back, which should be Falguest, should have enough time to catch up, so I'll let it go clean after this.
I think.
Oh yeah, so yeah, that's fact. Yeah, I'll go for one more.
I would suggest Honey Badger just bring it in this time around. Let them have 3 laps of racing. Personally.
Yeah, I didn't realise it was that close to the end.
So this time, safety car in this lap, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a race to the flag between CMC and D-Crocs. These guys have been battling it out since the 5th caution. This is the 6th caution of the night. We're going to have a 7th rolling start here for the final 3 laps, and there's going to be no more cautions after this. It's going to be a straight up race to the flag between CMC and D-Crocs. Who is your money on, ladies and gentlemen? The CMC and D-Crocs. Our young driver, only 15 years old, phenomenal sim racer when you consider how young he is. Races in our GTEs, was 3rd in last season's championship. Also races in the GT3s, was racing yesterday at Fuji Speedway. Can he take the fight and upset the home favourite here, CMC, in the final 3 laps of this race? We are almost about to go. Green light here, and it looks like foul, and looks like foul has caught up.
Yep, Fowl is at the back of the pack right now. It looks
Yep.
like Ollie is still inside the box.
Yep.
Still
So
getting
we're
those repairs done.
Yep, we're going to be going without Ollie here, so we're going to ride with CMC as we're about to take the restart here for the final 3 laps for round 1 of Motive Racing's USA Series here in the IndyCar class. It's going to be CMC dictating the pace, and it looks like we have gone. CMC has put his foot down and we are on the way once again. D-Crocs gets the a little bit of a sluggish start, getting away from it out of the line to complete lap 27 onto lap 28 up towards turn 1. It looks like D-Crocs is coming under pressure now from Ugbar, but Ugbar a lap down. Obviously we'll need to be careful and we'll need to be absolutely sure that he is going faster before making a move there. He looks like he's tidy through turn 1, but it's CMC leading the way, 0.6 of a second, and this is race on between these boys. This is what we wanted to see at the start of this race, a full-on, proper, clean battle for the lead. And we have well and truly got it now. A little bit late in the day, but it's CMC, the home favourite, currently in the box seat.
Also, we have Ollie on the run again. He's out of his pits and he is on route to on track, but unfortunately he will definitely not be able to finish this race in any other position but last.
Yeah, it's difficult to see Ollie getting back into this one. He's currently 10 minutes off the pace. Last time around, Ollie clocked in at a 14-minute 2.8. So it looks like this race
he's
is
3 minutes behind
all
now.
over for him. Yeah, but in the meantime, though, the battle for the lead, very, very close indeed. Looks like CMC's actually pulled out a little bit of a gap after the restart, coping with the cold tyres. A little bit better here than D-Crocs. D-Crocs just taking a moment to get those tyres up to temperature as we come through the final sector of the lap now. Just under a second separating these boys. CMC has led pretty much, I would say, 90% of the laps here tonight, and was, I would say, probably tantalisingly close to clocking a Grand Slam. Those guys who don't know what a Grand Slam is, basically it's when you get pole position, the victory, fastest lap, and lead every lap. So I don't know if he's got the fastest lap of the race. I imagine probably with the pace he's had, he's pretty close to it if he hasn't. Let's see. Yeah, CMC has got the fastest lap, 1:46.7. So if he could have led every lap tonight, he would have taken a Grand Slam. Unfortunately, just about missed out on that one, but he's still on course to take a magnificent victory here at Road America for the opening round.
Oh, something's happened to Ollie.
Yeah, Ollie's crashed once again. He's pulled over to the side, and he's now a spectator coming through turn 3. Sorry, but in the meantime, the battle for the lead. A lap and a half left to go between CMC and D-Crocs. Looks like D-Crocs had a poor middle sector coming through on this lap, and CMC now with a little bit of breathing space coming towards the end of this race.
No, he's definitely a capable driver. He definitely will be my favourite to win the championship, as we do continue to have these races every single week.
Yeah, hopefully we can still have these races, but maybe without damage on, it would be a much better spectacle for us, and a lot better for the guys out on the track, and a lot of the drivers in a bit of a protest on our Discord at the moment. We're not going to sugarcoat it. There is a lot of controversy going on behind the scenes at the moment on the Motive Racing Discord, and it's not what we want to see, but guys, Motive Racing will be making steps to ensure that this sort of this sort of drama does not happen ever again, as we see CMC coming onto the final lap of the race now. He's got a 2-second lead at the front. His tyres look good. He's got plenty of fuel. Our man from the USA currently showing the way here. D-Crocs unable to cope with this pace. But having said that, in the first sector, D-Crocs has responded just a little bit. He's gained half a second.
Well, he's definitely doing well. He's trying to fight back as fast as possible, but we're on the final lap. With that kind of gap, unless CMC kind of messes up a little bit, he's not going to get anywhere. He's done fantastically tonight to even keep this close to CMC, as fast of a driver as he is. Guy Croc, I've watched him many different times on different championships. He's a fantastic all-round driver. He can drive pretty much any car with precision, very little fault.
Yeah, definitely. And here we come into the final sector. So CMC F1 looks like he's going to take this one. Driving in his home race, our American driver, driving in the Indy cars. Loves the Formula One. Grew up watching NASCAR races. Said it was almost like a religion for him. CMC did. Let's jump on board with CMC if we can for the final part of this race. Grew up watching the NASCAR, and as I said, he watched NASCAR religiously growing up. He's 37 years old. Matt, coming out of the last turn, is going to take the victory for round one of Motive Racing's USA Series here in the Indy cars. Here he comes. CMC F1 is the winner. D-Crocs comes over in second place, and that is the race, ladies and gentlemen. Ogbar classified on the podium. Falguest and Ollie complete the top five, and that is a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. A controversial race, it must be said. There are going to have to be some conversations had behind the scenes to ensure that something like this never ever happens again. Emo guy, your take on what we saw between these guys at the front, the shining light in a room full of darkness.
Oh, absolutely spectacular. Nothing but clean racing from both of them. That's exactly what we want here at Motive Racing and any kind of championship that we have. It's just nothing but respect for other drivers, know your limits. Just absolutely perfection of driving as somebody decides to go flying to Mars.
That says freezing cold.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank everybody for joining us live on the Motive Racing channel. If you enjoyed the stream, then you know what to do, guys. Be sure to hit that sub, like and bell button here on YouTube, and join us on Discord if you want to get involved in the fun. Check out our other videos, check out our other championships. Most of them don't go like this one did tonight.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
In the meantime, we're going to get off air tonight. I've been Andy. I want to thank you, Emo Guy, for joining me in the box, and a big thank you also to Honey Badger for, obviously couldn't hear him on the stream. He's our regular commentator. Wanted to give his voice a bit of a rest tonight. He's been commentating all week, but he was more than willing to be our safety car driver, our resident Bert Mylander for tonight. Thank you very much to him.
Go on, Badger, give us a spin.
And we're hearing some rumours that apparently there is going to be a display from the Corvette pace car here on the start-finish straight after the race. We're hearing a rumour. We don't know whether it's true or not. Whether or not it's actually true, it's going to be... here we go. Oh, he's put it in the wall. Oh, what a silly sod. What a silly sod. Anyway.
As bad as a Ford.
Absolute disgrace. Anyway. CMC with the victory. D-Crocs and Ogbar complete the podium. Falguest and Ollie are your top five, ladies and gentlemen. I've been Andy. Emo Guy, have you got anything to say before we get off here?
Well, I just want to say thank you to everybody that has tuned in, and to anybody in the future that watches the video. We hope to see you on the grid line in the future of championships.
Absolutely. Take care, guys. Have a great evening, and see you tomorrow evening for the GTEs. Peace.